Thyagaraja Mandapam at Thiruvaiyaru on the banks of the Kaveri River was built in 1941 through the tireless efforts and personal financial dedication of the legendary Carnatic musician and activist Bangalore Nagaratnamma. Constructed directly adjacent to the Jiva Samadhi, or the resting place of the saint composer Saint Thyagaraja, one of the triumvirate of the Carnatic music, this memorial has transformed the site into the spiritual and cultural heartland of South Indian classical music. The visionary Bangalore Nagaratnamma, 1878 to 1952, a prominent and revolutionary Carnatic vocalist, held deep devotion for Saint Thyagaraja. Finding his final resting place neglected, she used her own wealth and raised public donations to acquire the land and construct the Mandapam. Upon finishing the structure, she consecrated it and initiated the tradition of singing the sacred Pancharatna Kritis at the site, giving the modern Thyagaraja Aradhana festival its structured format. True to her profound reference, Bangalore Nagaratnamma's own Samadhi was later built facing westwards towards Thyagaraja Swamigal's shrine. The Mandapam and its surrounding complex serve as the ground zero for the annual Thyagaraja Aradhana held every January. Thousands of classical music exponents, instrumentalists and ardent fans congregate here to render the Pancharatna Kritis in unison on the Pushya Bahula Panchami day. The site houses the saints Brindavan, his worshipped Spadikalinga, and the cherished bronze idols of Lord Rama that Thyagaraja personally worshipped during his lifetime. Arulmigu Aiyarappar Dharmasamvardhini temple in Thiruvaiyaru, located 13 km north of Thanjavur, Tamil Nadu, is an ancient 9th century Shiva temple designated as one of the 276 Padalpetra Sthalams, immortalized by the 7th century Saivate Thevaram hymns of Tamil saints like Appar, Tirunavukarasar, Sambandar and Sundarar. Widely referred to as Dakshina Kailasam or southern Mount Kailash, the town and the presiding deity Aiyarappar, Pancha Nadishwarar, derive their names from the 5 rivers encircling the region: Kaveri, Vadavar, Vennar, Vettar and Kodamurti. The sacred site is also deeply revered for its association with the Carnatic music century composer Saint Thyagaraja, who lived and composed his masterworks nearby. The core masonry and structural layout of Aiyarappar temple were established during the Chola dynasty in the 9th century, with significant expansions and stone additions commissioned later by Rajaraja Chola I and his queen Lokamahadevi in the late 10th century. Several inscriptions in the temple affiliates the temple to the Cholas, Pandyas and other rulers. Karikala Chola, Rajaraja, Jatavarman, Sundarapandian and Krishnadevarayar are associated with Thiruvaiyaru. The temple has 2 distinct divisions called Uttara Kailasam and Dakshina Kailasam. Uttara Kailasam was built by Rajaraja Chola's queen Lokamahadevi in the late 10th century, who also made several endowments. Dakshina Kailasam was renovated by Rajendra Chola's queen. Appar, one of the important Nayanmar, was closely associated with this shrine and dedicated one of the songs in Thevaram to this temple. There is an inscription dated to the 21st regnal year of Rajaraja I on the south wall of the temple, indicating sale of land. Another inscription recorded during the 22nd year indicating gift of 96 sheep for the perpetual lighting of the lamp. An inscription during the 24th year of the king indicate various types of jewellery gifted to the presiding and processional deities. An inscription on the east wall of the Mandapa indicated gift of 8 pots of silver by Vimaladita, the son-in-law of Rajaraja. A record of gift of land during 4th regnal year of Rajendra I was also found. The other major inscriptions during the 32nd year of Rajaraja I indicates the victories of the ruler against 3 Pandya rulers, namely Manabaran, Veerapandya and Sundarapandya. Successive rulers, including the Pandyas, Vijayanagara kings, Thanjavur Nayaks and the Maratha kingdom, contributed pillared mandapam sculptures and the soaring multi-tiered gopurams, gateway towers. The massive complex houses specialized inner sanctuaries, notably the Dakshina Kailasam and the Uttara Kailasam shrines. The later built by Rajaraja Chola's queen. According to local Sthala Purana, Nandikeshar, the founder of the Tirukailaya monastic lineage and divine mount of Shiva, was born to sage Silada at this place. The sage left the child in the temple. Lord Shiva performed sacred ablution, Abhisheka on the divine child, using 5 distinct fluid sources: Ambika's breast milk, foam from Nandi's mouth, and nectar from local holy waters Surya Pushkarani, Amrita Pushkarani, and Saiva Tirtham, the 3 water bodies. Since the child received from 5 different water sources, the presiding deity came to be known as Aiyarappar. Once a devotee of Shiva, who was also the priest in the temple, could not return to the temple on time as he was out to Kashi on a pilgrimage. On account of the delay, the priest prayed to Shiva for his inability to perform the day's worship practices. When he returned the next day to the temple, people were astonished as they realized that Shiva descended in the form of the priest the previous day. It is place where Appar, the famous Saivite saint, is believed to have obtained a vision of Kailasa. Sundarar came to Thirukandiur in the opposite bank of the river Kaveri to worship Kandishwara temple. He could not cross the river on account of floods and he prayed to Shiva. It is believed that on account of his worship, the river paved the way into the temple. The temple is mentioned as Logamagadevi Ishwaram based on the inscriptions recorded from archaeological extracts of 1894. The outer prakara or corridor features a designated spot where loudly calling out the divine name Aiyarappa distinctly echoes 5 times. The temple acts as the focal center for the annual Saptasthanam festival held in April-May, where glass palanquins carrying processional deities from 7 neighborhood regional Shiva temples converge at Thiruvaiyaru. As per Hindu legend, it is the wedding festival of Nandikeshwara, the sacred bull of Shiva, on the Punarpusa star during the Tamil month of Panguni. The festival deity of Aiyarappar temple of Thiruvaiyaru is carried in a decorated glass palanquin along with the images of Nandikeshwara and Suyasayambikai to the temples in Tirupannam, Tiruchotruturai, Thiruvedikudi, Thirukandiur and Tirupundurthi. Each of the festival deities of the respective temples mounted in glass palanquins accompany Aiyarappar on the way to the final destiny, Thillaisthanam. There is a grand display of fireworks in Kaveri riverbed outside Thillaisthanam temple. The 7 palanquins are carried to Aiyarappar temple in Thiruvaiyaru. Hundreds of people witnessed the convergence of 7 glass palanquins carrying principal deities of respective temples from 7 places at Thiruvaiyaru. The devotees perform Poochoridal, flower festival, in which the doll offer flowers to the principal deities in the palanquins. After the Poochoridal, the palanquins leave for their respective temples. Dharmasamvardhini, a 7th century Tamil Saivite poet, venerated Aiyarappar in 10 Padigams in Thevaram, compiled as the first Thirumurai and second Thirumurai. Appar, a contemporary of Sambandar, also venerated Aiyarappar in 12 Padigams in Thevaram, compiled in the 4th, 5th and 6th Thirumurai. Sundarar, the 8th century Nayanmar, revered Aiyarappar in 7 Padigams, which is compiled in 7th Thirumurai. As the temple is revered in Thevaram, it is classified as Padalpatra Sthalam, one of the 275 temples that find mention in the Saiva canon. The temple is counted as the 52nd in the list of temples in the northern banks of Kaveri.